So we are going to look at perimeter area and volume of polygons that have polynomial side lengths. So let's start with perimeter. So let's say, I'm going to call this example 1. Example 1, so let's say that we have a square, whoops, not very good there. We know the square has 4 congruent sides. So if I told you that the side length was 9n plus 11, and I asked you to find the perimeter. So when we find perimeter, that means that we need to add up all the sides because the perimeter is the sum of the sides. So basically, if we were going to put a fence around the edge of the square. So what we want to think about is what that means. For a square, all 4 sides are the same. So if this is 9n plus 11, this one is 9n plus 11, that one is 9n plus 11, and this one is 9n plus 11. So one way we could do it is just go around and add 9n, 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 and then so on. We do have kind of a shortcut though, since it is a square and all 4 sides are the same. Another way of adding 4 sides together would be to multiply the side by 4. So in this case, for the perimeter, we can say that we have 4 sides that are 9n plus 11. So we learned how to multiply. So we just need to distribute this. So we would end up with 36n plus 44. And that is our perimeter. All right, let's try an area problem. So let's say we have for example, let's do area of a rectangle. So if we have this rectangle, I'm not very good at my drawings today, and we are going to find the area. All right, so let's say this side has a length of 3x squared plus 2x minus 7. And let's say that this side has a length of 4x minus 5. So when we find the area of a rectangle, we multiply length times width, or you may have learned base times height. So to find the area, we need to multiply those 2 sides together. So that means that to find the area of the shape, we need to multiply 3x squared plus 2x minus 7 with 4x minus 5. All right, so we know that this is a whole lot of distributive property here for this one. Okay, so first up, I'm going to multiply these 2 by the 3x squared. So that will give me 12x cubed. So 12x cubed. And then minus 15x squared. Minus 15x squared. All right, now we need to multiply by 2x. So when we multiply these together, that will give us 8x squared, which I'm going to stack with this one since they're like terms. And when we multiply those together, we'll get negative 10x. So minus 10x. And then we need to distribute this negative 7 to both of those. So we multiply that together. That's negative 28x, which I'm going to write under the negative 10 since those are like terms. And then we multiply those and we get a positive 35. So now to find the area of this shape, we just need to add this all up. And it's pretty simple since we've stacked our like terms. So we have 12x cubed. When we add those together, we'll get a negative 7x squared. When we put those two together, we'll get negative 38x. And then that one doesn't have a like term, so that's going to be plus 35. So the area of this rectangle is 12x cubed minus 7x squared minus 38x plus 35. All right, so that takes care of area. Now we're going to look at volume. And we're only going to do the volume of a cube. I need to go on a new page since I write so big. So we're going to do the volume of a cube only. So for example 3, we are going to volume of, I guess I should say find the volume of a cube if the edge is, let's say it is 3n plus 1. Okay, so when we think of a cube and doing the volume of this cube, what we need to remember, whoa, yikes, that was awful, is that we are, this is a three-dimensional object right here. So the length, the width, and the height are all 3n plus 1. So we have 3n plus 1, 3n plus 1, and 3n plus 1. And hopefully you remember that to find the volume, we do length times width times height. Well, since we're doing a cube, those three measurements are all the same. So what we need to do is the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the height. All right, now the way polynomials work, we can only multiply 2 at a time. So I'm going to write that over here. You can only multiply 2 at a time. So what we're going to do is ignore this guy for just a few minutes. We're going to multiply these two polynomials together, actually binomials. We'll get that answer, and then we'll take that answer and multiply it by the third. So what we're doing right now is we're going to multiply the length times the width. So multiply here first. So we will get 9n squared plus 3n. And now we're going to multiply right there, and we'll get another 3n plus 1. And then remember, we're going to check for like terms, because when we multiply binomials together, I told you like 93% of the time we'll have like terms right here. So we have 9n squared plus 6n plus 1. So that is our length times width. So now we need to multiply that by the height, which is 3n plus 1. All right, so here we go. So first up, maybe I'll do some colors just to make this a little more exciting. So we need to multiply those two by 9n squared. So we multiply, we'll get 27n cubed. 27n cubed. Remember, we add the exponents on the variables. And then we multiply 9n squared times 1, which is going to be 9n squared. All right, now we'll multiply these guys by 6n. So when we multiply these together, we'll get 18n squared, which will line up right here. So 18n squared plus 6n. So remember, I like to stack my like terms. I think it's easier at the end if we have them stacked. And then now we need to distribute this 1. So when we multiply those together, we'll get 3n, which I'm going to stack right there, plus 1. So now, to get the volume, we need to just add all this together. So we come straight down and we have 27n cubed. Add those two together and we have 27n squared. Add those two together and we have 9n plus 1. So now we have the volume of our cube. Now, if there was a shortcut, we would have done it, but remember, we made this note right over here. You can only multiply 2 at a time. So we multiplied the length and the width together, and then took that answer and multiplied by the height. All right, that should cover it.